Pam,
Hello,
episode 5.
episode 5. I cannot believe this.
We're still doing it,
We're still doing it. It's a family affair. I love it.
right?
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So, all right. So this time it's my turn to ask you questions.
Bring it.
And what I thought we could talk about this week, you are an entrepreneur, um, run I'm going to call it small to medium sized business, fairly small team. And while these questions are going to be, I think, about how you're doing this as an entrepreneur, it can apply to anybody running any team. And it's really how are you using AI to help you run this business sort of better, faster, cheaper, and really make this continue to make it a very lean operation. And you're doing a lot of things. You're using a lot of AI tools to help you do that. So maybe talk more generally, and then we can get into a couple of examples as well, and then we can come back at and how other people, entrepreneurs or not, can maybe take something from there.
Sure. So, I mean, we use it in a lot of different ways, but let's dig into a few of them. The first one is in the product, right? So we have a SaaS product, and a large part of what is involved in our product is importing random bills of materials, right, from many different sources. It's very random. It could come from anybody in any format. It could be a screenshot, it could be a PDF, it could be an Excel file, a CSV, whatever, right?
Holy data soup.
Yeah, it's a mess. But typically it is a list of part numbers and quantities, right? And that's what we want to get in. So we leverage AI to help us with that, and it works really well. So that's in the product. That helps our customers to kind of streamline things, but not so much us. Now to write that, we have leveraged AI in writing code significantly, and we're looking at more and more ways to do that. And we've come a long way in a year, right? From originally, the first one was GitHub Copilot, which
Mm-hmm.
was helpful. It kind of got us into it. Then we went to Cursor, which was better and more effective in doing more than just
Mm-hmm.
kind of little snippets. Switched over now to Claude Code, which is really starting to have some impact on it in everything, including not just writing the code, but helping us to do code review,
Ah,
uh, which is something we just started to do. And don't get me wrong, it's not perfect
mm-hmm.
still, right? None of those
Yeah.
things are perfect.
But
Um,
if I can just ask on that, so code review and then also QA or
Not QA yet. We're looking
okay.
at ways to do QA for sure. QA for the most part is still manual. There are some
Yeah,
automated processes, but it's
sure.
not so much AI. It's very kind of structured.
Yeah.
So that's building the product, and then in terms of there's some marketing stuff we do,
Mm-hmm.
right? So when we do posts on LinkedIn or comments on LinkedIn, often what we want to do is do research, right? So we will research a topic specifically. Like I wrote one about scale up and scale out fiber architecture in hyperscale data centers, which for
Mm-hmm.
most of the people watching this have no idea what I'm talking about. But it was a specific thing that I was very interested in, right? So I researched it on ChatGPT, researched it some more on Google, then kind of wrote something, put what I wrote into ChatGPT, said, does this make sense? Is it accurate? And made a bunch of edits. Then I took it over to Anthropic Claude and said, fact check this for me, right? So
Hmm.
that whole process
Interesting.
was kind of leveraging AI to kind of make it faster, right?
Yeah.
And honestly, it better too, because like if I do my research solely on Google, I can only look at like I don't know,
Yeah.
10, 15 different sites and references, right? Whereas I think ChatGPT went through when they looked at it and looked at 560 different sources. Like
Mm-hmm.
it's just the scale is amazing.
Yeah.
Um, so so there's that, and then finally we do a little bit of automation with N8N, right? So um, I am no longer looking after like um, certain aspects requests from customers, right? So and they know me, they've known me for a long time, so they continue to send me these emails, but they're not all the same kind of question, right? Some of
Mm-hmm.
them I do need to answer, some of them I need to kind of send off to somebody else and create a support ticket for and stuff like that. So we built an integration from N8N to Outlook into N8N, It looks at the email coming from a certain domain name, reads the email, says, oh, yeah, this is a support request. I'm going to go create a ticket and click up, and I'm going to send a Teams message to a customer support guy. And so I don't have to do that anymore. Not only do I not have to do it, but the customer users are getting faster response because it doesn't wait for me now to go check my email, see it, and deal with it. It just kind of happens automatically. So that's a few of the
Yeah,
things
and
that
so
we're leveraging.
for this third one, it's like when you think about a customer workflow, you can use things like Marketo to create a customer workflow. But this is not only creating the workflow, but actually executing elements of the workflow on your behalf, which I
Correct.
think is interesting,
Yeah.
right? And so then you get involved when it really needs important judgment, relationship management, that kind of thing. If it's more of a, I'm going to say standard interaction, then
Yeah.
the AI can really help you.
And what I'm really looking for is something that moves the needle that you can't scale personally, manually, right? But what if you could like, and so maybe because you can't, and the idea that kind of triggered this in my head, I was listening to a podcast and they talked about these call centers, automated call centers with AI voices that sound, the conversations just sound, oh, well, we talked about even just talking to ChatGPT, it sounds pretty normal, right? So it was about outbound cold calling. And, this isn't really our modus operandi,
Hmm.
right? So, but it triggered the idea. Okay, well, if you have, let's say you have 100 people making phone calls, like
Hmm.
people,
Yeah.
and you hit a certain level. Well, with AI and automation, like you could have 1 million,
Hmm.
right? Like, and just instantly scale. And
Hmm.
so the it when you start thinking like, okay, well, what can I take that is kind of a limiting factor right
Hmm.
now because it's a manual process, and then give it ultimate resource or unlimited resources, like what is possible. So that is kind of where the my eyes and vision are going on looking
Yeah.
for that kind of thing. I
Yeah.
haven't really found it yet,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
um
But I think it's a perfect segue to not just entrepreneurs, but anybody in any organization. I mean, if there's one thing that's common these days, it's resource scarcity,
mhm.
right? And everybody's financially constrained. Everybody's fairly cautious these days with the economy and making investments, etc. And these tools can help you get at that scaling without having to invest a lot more in various different kinds of resources
Yeah.
to get at where you're trying to get at, which I
Yeah.
think is really interesting. My second takeaway in this whole conversation is you named, I don't know, 7 or 8 different tools. And, for folks who are just really dipping their toes into AI, they really think about ChatGPT. Like,
Yeah.
it was the first mover advantage. It is the Kleenex of AI now. But there are so many different tools. And I really liked your point around using one to validate or fact check the other. I think that's really interesting because they're not infallible yet, right? They all still have some hallucination sometimes and some, using older data sometimes. And I think that's an interesting way to get at it is to, you know,
Yeah.
almost test them against each other.
On that note, that's a really good point because none of these are perfect.
Yeah.
And the thought when you first start is, hey, I'm going to tell it what to do, and then it's going to spit out this thing that's perfect, and it's going to save me a whole bunch of time. I can't think of a single time where it was like one shot perfect
Yeah.
and in production.
Yeah.
Like there are many things that I've tried, and never gotten to total completion yet, right?
Hmm.
And I think it's there's two causes. One is the tools are getting better, but they're not there,
Yeah.
right? And the tools get better very fast.
Hmm.
The other thing is I need to learn, how to use them properly. Also need to understand where the limits are, right? What I should be asking it to do that it can do really well, and what I should continue to do myself. A perfect example is one of my favorite tools is called Replit. Um, and Replit is an AI tool that if you go there and you say, hey, I want you to create this software, it will go do it, right? And you don't have to give it a design. It'll figure out designed sort of on best practices. It knows how to code it, knows how to create the database, it knows how to spin it up. You can literally, theoretically, literally, um, tell it to build this thing, keep telling it what to change, and then create an app, publish the app, and send the link out to all your friends, and there's a working application. I've tried probably 30 different projects. I've
Hmm.
learned a ton. I've gotten very close,
Yeah.
but never to the point where it's like, okay, this is really ready
Yeah.
to go out there. And because I do this, it's great for prototyping, right?
Hmm.
So we're a software business. I'm typically the guy coming up with the ideas for the product and things like that, right? I don't want to, and my process is very much, okay, let me see, let's build something, and then we'll look at it and we'll tweak it and go from there, which I'm sure the developers hate, right? Because I'll give them a spec, I'm like, it's going to be kind of like this, but we'll figure it out more as we go, right? But now with Replit, I can say, hey, let's go build this feature, and it doesn't have to have all the
Yeah.
features and functionalities of the rest of the application, but let's build this thing and test it out. And I see so much that I'm like, oh, that's not going to work like that. We need to do it like this.
Yeah.
So by the time I actually give them the spec and saying,
Yeah.
hey, this is how we're going to build it, we've worked out all that stuff, and it's been very
Yeah.
helpful.
It's almost like the like AI and technology version of a mock-up, right? Like you're getting it, like
It,
as you
it
say, the
it's
prototyping. Yeah.
yeah, it's a working mock-up, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So interesting. Okay, so we should probably wrap up, but a couple things that I thought of as just as you were talking there. Number one, these tools, these massively powerful models, are still in their infancy. They keep changing. They are like a work in progress. And as a result, nobody is an expert. Like you talked about, like I'm
Mhm.
trying to get better and better at it. So
Yeah.
like everybody should just give themselves a pass on that. And the second thing is maybe we need to do an episode where we both bring our tips and tricks and what we've learned.
Mm.
And yours can be maybe a bit more, I'm going to say commercial, and mine can be a bit more consumer. But I think that might be interesting for folks too, which is like just an episode on, okay, here are the three things that go away and try.
Try this. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so much. Um,
Hmm.
there's so much. And interesting you say that too, because I think we take for granted a lot of stuff that we've already learned.
Yeah.
Um, and sometimes I forget that not everybody, and this is me. I've
Yeah.
always been like this,
Yeah.
right? Um, yeah,
You're
I
like 12
forget.
steps ahead of us. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forget that people don't know how to turn on web search in
Right.
ChatGPT, right?
I just learned that.
Things like that. Um, yeah, and there's agent mode in ChatGPT too, which is also
Yeah.
very cool.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, I
All
think
right.
it's a great idea. We'll come with a bunch of, and
Okay.
maybe we'll do some screen shares and stuff, and actually
Yeah.
show
Okay.
show some things.
So our actions are getting that figured out. And I there was one other action takeaway I was thinking about. Oh, I'm going to go and do a bit more comparing, like and fact checking one in one platform versus the other. I think that's a really good thing to experiment a bit more with.
Yeah,
So there we
good.
go.
Sounds good.
All
We'll
right,
we'll see you next time.
in episode 6.
All right.
All right,
Bye.
bye.